President, Chairman, and members of this Judicial Proceedings Committee. My name is Tandra Ridgely. I'm the Vice Chairman of the Grassroots Steering Foundation located in Harford County. We are a nonprofit civil rights group in which we mostly advocate for individuals and families of color in the legal, law enforcement, and public school systems. I'm here today to submit testimony in opposition of Senate Bill 116. As an organization that has been doing on-the-ground civil rights work for more than 12 years, we do not view same-sex marriages as a civil rights issue. We were disturbed that advocates for this bill are equating this to the historic civil rights movement, which was formed for racial equality for African Americans. I submit today that gay marriage is not a civil rights issue. At no time as a group have homosexuals been denied a right to go to school, but African Americans have. As a group, homosexuals have never been denied a right to vote, but African Americans were. At no time as a group have homosexuals been segregated and forbidden from circulating in the general population. They have not been profiled by police and pulled over and falsely charged because of their sexual orientation. However, since it is being aggressively touted as a civil rights issue in Maryland, and since it's being compared to the African American struggle for civil rights, let's take an honest look at Maryland's recent civil rights record. Let's look and see how Maryland treats civil rights, shall we? Maryland has a specific way of dealing with civil rights. At no time has Maryland ever just taken our word, meaning African Americans' word, for it and granted it. The Maryland way involves establishing commissions, studies, task force to investigate if the claims made by African Americans were even true in the first place. In 2000 and 2001, attempts were made to pass legislation to make racial profiling illegal in Maryland. Our organization came to Annapolis and submitted testimony on many bills dealing with racial profiling. At that time, racial profiling was largely accepted. After all, the statistics said that blacks were 2 to 3 times more likely to commit crimes than our white counterparts, therefore justifying the stops. In the same year, Governor Glendening signed a bill that required ethnic record keeping for every stop in the state by state and municipal police. Yet the ACLU had acquired 6 years' worth of data that stated gross disparity toward blacks in stops. 2001, there was a task force established repealing the disenfranchisement of convicted felons in Maryland, and a huge number of them include African American men. In 2004, the Commission on Racial and Ethnic Fairness in the Judicial Process was formed to study if our claims of the judicial process in being unfair to us is even true. In closing, this is how Maryland treats civil rights issues. The case for gay marriage has not been made. Where are the state commission studies, task forces, and diagnostics? What are the legal, social, and monetary costs if this bill becomes law? You will have an entirely new group of people that will be eligible for benefits that ordinarily would not have been. Gay advocates simply saying that they want what we have and saying that it is time is simply not enough. It was not enough for African Americans. It never has been in Maryland, and it shouldn't be enough for them. After all, African Americans, we did help build this country, and it was never enough for us. So I submit to this committee, you all might need to get a study, a commission, a task force to study this before the jump is made, simply out of respect for the civil rights movement that you all are basing this on.